I'm not meant to be here. See that one's coming on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm not meant to be here. Hi there, everyone. Yes, it's that jump start to the show that gives everybody the fucking fear. It's Billy Kirkwood here. I hope you're amazing. It's Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get ourselves locked down. Let's get ourselves hard. Let's get ourselves ready. Right, what a guest we have for you. We're going to have the amazing Jason Reed. He's going to be on with us in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, please welcome. He is a blonde goddess, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know how. If he were a trifle, you'd eat him. And Simon, it's a creepy start to the show. How are you?
I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Billy. That's thank you. I think
it's kind of weird because literally somebody just as I was getting ready to enter you tweeted me a joke that I said ages ago, and that was I wasn't ready for it. Why does Dr. Pepper come in a bottle? Because his wife did. Right, Simon, how are things?
Jesus.
It's an old joke. I wasn't ready for it. How are you, mate?
I am slightly taken aback. I'm very good, Billy. How are you keeping?
Not too bad, not too bad. We're another weekend to lockdown. Thank you for joining us here on ICW Lockdown. Before we get in and about it, we've got to talk about some stuff that's going on in the wrestling world in general. Why, if you're watching right now, Jason Reed, our guest, is going to be on in just a couple of minutes. So get sure to share, make sure to like, make sure to tag, get everyone you know. We want as many people on so we can have a chat with Jason just a little bit about everything in ICW, everything in his career, and maybe everything that's going on at Ibrox. There's no two ways about it. It's going to come up. Right.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
I'm a little nervous, but all I know is that my dad will definitely be watching. Right. you can take that any way you want. World of Pro Wrestling just now. Simon, we asked this last week. What do you think of the Perspex screens at the side of the ring at Monday Night Raw?
Here, I said last week, I quite like it. Because I know last week you were saying it's a bit Robot Wars. It's a bit ice hockey. That's why I like it.
All right, okay.
I quite like that aspect of it. I maybe wouldn't mind if they stayed.
What? I
maybe wouldn't mind if they were just part of the setup from that one.
It could be. But then you're just going to end up with people plastered against them like this, like Garfield's. Come on!
And that doesn't sound good to you. That doesn't sound amazing to you.
No, you put it that way.
Imagine how much the pop would be the first time somebody gets launched through one of the Perspex screens.
Oh, that's going to happen, isn't it? First time I saw anybody go through one of the black barriers at ringside, I lost my mind. Going, wrestling will never get better than this. Wrestling will never get better than this.
Exactly. We're going to the next level. Literally. It's another level on the black barrier.
Do you know the weird thing is, this week I've been enjoying a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll have to talk to him about it. I finally caught up with All the Last Ride, the Undertaker documentary on the WWE Network. If you haven't had a chance, you've got to check it out. I cried. I lost my mind. Everything got going on because I was at the WrestleMania when he made his big return, big kind of return? Well, he retired and then he returned. That one.
Which?
Yes.
Which? Okay.
The one he took on Cena.
Right. Okay. Well, see, I was at the one that he fought Triple H Hell in a Cell. And that, like, the year he did the big hug with like Shawn and Triple H then, and we thought that was his retirement.
No.
And then it turns out you weren't even close.
I think Undertaker retires every time he goes to bed now. He goes, "That's me. It's me. I'm done." Oh, because that's how he talks in real life.
Well, they do even say in the show, like, he said this is the last time, like 4 times. So I don't. Well, here's a question: what to you should be his last match? Your fantasy booking it. Taker's last match. Who is it?
Well, you know something? That's a great question, and I'm going to put it out to everyone that's watching ICW Lockdown. If you have an idea who Undertaker should face in his last match, what are you also watching in the world of wrestling? Because I watched that, and I watched the WWE Network for the first time in weeks. Like, I'm not joking. I have been all about AEW, and I've been bouncing around. This week, I went down 2 wormholes. First of all, I went down a Sting wormhole from 1996, Blonde Beach Sting. Fucking yes. And the other one was a Steve Mongo McMichael thing. Because the thing is, I liked Steve Mongo McMichael as a wrestler. There you go. A big horse.
So I'm assuming you've discovered the Twitter account.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Was it
and away I went.
At what Mongo does next, or what Mongo did next? It's anyone who's watching this, follow that, and after it, you will lose hours of your life. Just there's one. He tries to push someone off top rope, and he just throws a briefcase across the ring.
Yes.
And I laughed for about an hour. Just
the boy was lethal. I loved him. I love the fact that he was a big blowhard. He comes on with a pair of wingtips and has a leather jacket, has a shouting match with a British Bulldog, and it's like I pure love Steve Michael. And if you don't know who he is, make sure to go and check him out. In terms of AEW, I think it's great stuff they're doing just now. Chris Jericho is the absolute best. We love to know what you're enjoying in wrestling, but we have Jason Reed on tonight, a man that has made a huge impact and has, shall we say, his return to ICW in 2019, going right through to this year. Do you have any questions for Jason about what his inspiration, what his likes in pro wrestling was? Could be anything, could be anything from his career. Get your questions in right now. You can put them right below us here in the comments whenever you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, though, don't forget, you can fire in the super chat and it comes straight through to us here in the ICW studios. Or as I like to call them, my cupboard.
Mine's a library.
Well, there it is. I've also got this wee hand. Right, are you ready, Simon?
Let's do it.
Let's bring on the man himself. We have a bit of a rule here that our guests are always introduced. It's been a while. The wrestling's off just now. The fucking horse racing's back, but the wrestling's still off. Who gives a fuck about horses? Right. It just annoys the fuck out of me. It annoys the fuck out of me. I can get a Crunchwrap Supreme, but I can't watch somebody squish somebody's fucking head. I need that. Simon, please introduce our guest.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, about to make his way into the lockdown, weighing in tonight at a staunch 200 pounds, this is Jason Reed!
Yeah! Fucking get in there! Come on!
Have you missed it, Jason? Did you miss it? Did you miss it?
Mate, that was like being behind the curtain. I could feel it. I was like, man!
Somebody's getting pumped. I love that. Somebody's getting pumped. Somebody's getting pumped.
True story. Wrestling's been gone that long. I had to message Jason earlier on going, what's your intro again?
I know. I was like, mate.
I had legit forgot.
Dead.
Like, Billy's gone. He's left.
I love the fact I do the fake walk off. I'll level with you. I've got at best a step and a half in that direction. I can't go fucking nowhere. Hey, that's creepy as fuck. How have you been dealing with this, mate? How are things going on? Are you well?
Oh, mate, I'm well. I'm very well. I'm actually buzzing to be on. I'm buzzing to talk about some wrestling. I feel like it's just been so long. So
Yeah.
long, man. I miss wrestling. I miss all of you guys. I miss ICW, but we're getting there, man. We're getting there. How are you both? Thank you for having me on.
Oh no, it's listen, it's we put out some of the names we wanted on. Your name kept coming up. Me and Simon were absolutely delighted. My dad would have been fucking livid if I had not had you on. Because legit, we were talking about this earlier, right? And I can tell you this right now. I do a breakfast radio show. We would have called it Radio Clyde. I posted up on my social media that you were coming on. And it's the first time I have seen anyone else in the building really take a huge interest in ICW, including some of the guys off Super Scoreboard going, Who's this boy you've got? Like, for the first time ever. For the first time ever. Proper popped, so I did.
Get in there, Hugh Keevans.
There you go. What a lad. What a lad. I've only seen him the once. We've not seen him recently. I think he's in polystyrene somewhere in Falkirk. They're just like,
I'd love to get him ringside, I think. Hugh Keevans.
You know, it's been talked about before. It's been talked about before. I don't think it's ridiculous. I think we can get it. I think we can make it happen.
Hugh Keevans, man, that's just like, do you know what I mean? Hugh Keevans ringside.
Would Coach be okay with that?
Nah, probably not. I'll probably need to fucking boot his specs off, man.
Surely that's a clash of backstage stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hugh Keevans, though.
What about if we make Hugh Keevans the director of Staunch Enterprises?
I don't know how Hugh would feel about that. I don't know. I think there's I don't know. It might be a wee conflict of interest there.
We'll work that out. People will talk that. Worst case scenario, I'll get him on commentary. I think that'd be nice. Just having him going, son, what is going on? Well, what we've done is, Hugh, is we've got some linesmen at the side of the ring just to help. So,
we'll see you later, JRK.
Just imagine that somebody goes for a drop kick and a flag goes up.
Offside.
With an elbow? If you were in a tag match, I have to figure that out. That's going to take a while. Like, could they be offside in wrestling?
I still want to see you call for a penalty.
Well, we've done VAR, so maybe penalties next, man. Maybe penalties next. That VAR fucking done me though, but it was fun. So you never know.
That was everywhere. That was right. We've got by. Let's get straight into it. Right. You first came into ICW, I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 2018. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was.
I think you made an appearance for us in Aberdeen. You've been wrestling a long time up there. First time I saw you, there was a kind of Donald Trump gimmick going on. I think I could say that now. Sorry, I think you got out of that one. Well, mate, well done. Yeah, just at the right time. And I mean, how long have you been wrestling, Jason? If you don't mind me asking.
Okay, so I started training in 2016.
Right.
No, maybe a year before. So I debuted in 2016. So I was training for about 12 months before that.
Right.
Pretty much thrown in the deep end, 12 months in. Obviously through in Fife, done a bit of work through here, and then eventually sort of made my way up to Aberdeen and done a bit of work there. But yeah, I mean, 2016 was when I started wrestling. That's when I made my official debut. I'd done some like gala shows and smaller venue type stuff before.
Yeah.
The actual debut as such was 2016.
Wow. So it's actually, when you think about it, it's quite a short spell. In wrestling terms, it's quite a short amount of time.
It is, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, most of the guys at the top level now have been here 10 plus years. And I only feel like I've been wrestling properly for maybe like 2 years. Whereas before then, for me, I was maybe not maybe half-arsing it, I feel like. In my opinion. I mean, I feel like I've only really just come into my true self over the last 12, 18, 24 months. So for me, the last couple of years I've been where I felt like I was proper sort of wrestling, whereas before it was just kind of here and there,
Yeah. So when you started to get the gear started coming, because it takes a while to get down. I mean, ICW, Simon will say it, the biggest independent wrestling company in all of Europe. Was that somewhere that even in those early days you went, I want to get there, I want to get at ICW?
Yeah, 110%. Anyone that tells you that, I mean, in this country they don't want to get there, I don't know, man. I don't believe it. Like ICW, as we just touched on, is one of, if not the biggest promotion in Europe, hands down. You know, when you work around the country, different promotions, and then you get a taste of ICW, you can just see why it's on that other level. You know, whether it's like production, the setup, ring crew, whatever it might be. It's just another level, man. And you know, if you want to make it in this business, you need to be working at the best level possible, the highest level that you can get to. And ICW, 110% is the pinnacle in this country.
Yeah. So, Simon, sorry, do you have a question?
No, I was just going to say, obviously you did a bit of work around Aberdeen, and you were on some fairly big shows through there. What was it like when you did first come into ICW? How did you feel? Was there the butterflies? Did you feel quite comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, like I always get nervous, but like nervous in a good way. I'm not scared to go out and perform. I'm nervous because I care and I want to do a good job. You know, a lot of people have put their neck on the line to get me in that position. And you know, people like Coach and stuff who are obviously still doing that to the day. You know, putting words in for me. So it's a pressure, but it's a pressure I personally thrive on. I don't know how other people deal with it, but I like having that pressure. And yeah, I mean, there was some big shows, you know, in Aberdeen, you know, like Beach Ballroom and stuff, which is a massive venue up there. And it has its different feeling. But coming to ICW for the first time was really nervous. But again, as I just touched on, it was a good nervousness. I was excited. I wanted to do well and I wanted to impress, but whole different ballgame.
I've got to ask, what was the feedback when you came through the curtain after that first night? Because I know some people have, you know, got to that stage and then they went back through the curtain and got told nothing worked. You need to come back with something different, and you've just not heard of them again. That's obviously not the case with you.
No, well, I think, yeah. So I mean, I think when I first came through, and obviously I waited on Kenny Williams and he spoke to me, and obviously we went through some stuff. I mean, when I'm in there with someone like Kenny Williams, you'd be silly not to pick their brains and, you know, ask them what could have went better, you know, what can I work on, you know. And, you know, I sat with Kenny for probably about 20-25 minutes and we just sort of went through the match. And at the same time, Dallas came up the stairs then. And, you know, Kenny was like, you know, this guy, you know, he's got something here. We just need to sort of to give him a shot. And, you know, the same night, Dallas was like, you know, I'll give you a phone. And we'll get something for you. And actually, funnily enough, Coach was a runner that night. He was sort of helping out with the match, and he gave me some feedback as well. One thing that stuck with me, you know, he said, "You've got this big," because I had this shiny blue gear on, which I don't think I've had in ICW. You know, he's like, "You've got this shiny blue gear on. You need to just go out and, you know, give it something." But I don't know if that was maybe like a bit of nerves on the first night. I was happy with the match, but you know, I'm a perfectionist. I always want to do it better. I always feel like I could have done better. But the feedback overall was good. But then you never really know, do you, in this business? You know, you could get decent feedback, and it's just a waiting game, isn't it? Sometimes you could be waiting days, weeks, months, a year before you hear anything back. So it's just about being resilient as well. You just need to keep doing what you're doing and, you know, hope for the best and keep your fingers crossed sometimes.
So we get the relaunch of Jason Reed here at ICW, right? I have never, like, maybe Thatcher Wright might be the only one, but I have never seen such instant heat on a wrestler.
Get in there.
That curtain, and within like, no, I'll calm down the next time. Fucking hell! See, we got to talk about the character, and trust me, I can tell you this now. There is plenty of people interested in the comments, wanting to hear from you. Particularly JC. Hiya, Jay. He's got a lot to say, right? We're going to deal with this head on before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, right? What? I mean, I don't. So how here? How do you? I mean, it's a hard one. I don't want his right. So, Jason, what's the whole what's going on?
Right.
they get well. It's not the gimmick. We got to make that clear. It's part of the. What is the gimmick? I don't know. Is it? Is it part of the presentation? Why am I struggling to ask all these questions? Does anybody else smell toast?
Come on, man. Spit it out. Come on.
What's the deal with the Rangers? What's the deal with the Rangers, mate? All right. You talk us through. I hate using phrases like gimmick. Talk us through the persona of Jason Reed and ICW, because it grows and it grows. And man, I have not seen somebody get that continual heat and support at the same time. I've never seen it apart from at a football match. Talk us through how we got to Jason Reed where he is right now.
Right. So, I mean, for a bit of context, obviously, I'm a lifelong Rangers fan. I've been going to games home and away since 5 years old with my granddad. I was just the way I was brought up. Season ticket from a very young age, games home and away, cup games, everything. Rarely missed a game every weekend.
So that's obviously if that wasn't how this answer started, everything that follows would be weird.
Oh,
actually, I don't even like football. What?
I could just be very, very good at my job,
Sorry, continue.
So I mean, and literally, I was going every, like week in, week out. Probably up until I started training. Probably, it was a mix between obviously wrestling and obviously being involved with shows at weekends, and then working outside the wrestling as well. Probably stopped me from going as much as I wanted to. So obviously, I've had that since I was a very young boy. As I said, age 4 or 5. That's been in my life. It's just the way I've been brought up.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for anyone that hasn't been brought up the same way as me. But I mean, it's one of these things, I got word from coach that we were going to be working together. So me and coach are sitting down. We're like, what are we going to do here? Obviously, coach. When I first heard I was going to be working with coach, I was like, that's amazing. Coach has been about for years. He's been about with the biggest tag teams, in the country. Some of the best in Europe. When you think about Polo Promotions. I was buzzing to be involved, and obviously, coach is the exact same as me. We both share the same the same passion for football and Rangers as each other. And the funny story, we never really knew what we were doing, and we got a phone call from Mark Dallas, who asked us to do a pre-tape, which is essentially one of the tapes that you film during the day that gets slotted into obviously the show to make it look like it's live feed it essentially.
Yeah.
And we're racking our brains all day. We're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So we just eventually went into it. Dallas was like, listen, you've got 90 seconds. Just get yourself over, get people talking. And the promo finished with us saying, "We are the people." And I think when Dallas heard that, he had a wee mini heart attack. We never told him that was what was happening. So the first time he is watching the video is, when he's gorilla position and it's on the fucking screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, because we are the people. And he's like, what the fuck? So, but then obviously when it happened, so me and coach are watching it again. And as you know, everyone gathers around the TV backstage area and sees this for the first time as well. And this was the first time we'd watched it back. So the whole locker room is watching it at the same time. And the line goes down and then there's a silence. I'm like, fuck. But then, milliseconds later, it's just fucking rains and rains of abuse. 80% of the audience are booing. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe he just said that. The other 20% are like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And we just looked at each other. We're like, "This is it, mate. This is it." And we went from there. And we just went from, we just started doing new things when we were out there. And it was just, as you said, getting continuous heat over and over again. And then sort of that show in December, or maybe it was January. So Rangers are just beating Celtic in the Old Firm game at Parkhead. and Ryan Kent done the celebration, the old gun to the head. Or he says it's for some sort of, I don't even know what it was, man. He said it was some sort of reference to an American hip hop band. I don't give a fuck personally. So I went out there and done it, and oh my God, I've never thought I was going to get jumped ever in a wrestling ring, but that night, mate, I thought that was me. Unbelievable.
I thought even it's the way it built over the next couple of shows. It's there's not a lot of people taking risks certainly in wrestling these days, but it's grown and it's grown and it's grown, and it gets huge support. It gets huge support, and it gets eyes on the show, man. It gets eyes on the show, and then.
I've always said that, I've always been passionate about, like, for me, it's not just about turning up in wrestling or turning up and doing a promo. For me, it's all about driving the business and the PR side of things. Like, I've always been so passionate about moving the business forward. It doesn't sit right with me just turning up, collecting a wage check, wrestling and going home. Like, although ICW is on the level it is just now, I want it to be on a bigger level. Like, I want these guys who, are fans of Rangers hearing about ICW and Jason Reed and Coach Tripp and thinking, what is this? Getting a wee taste from me, and then we get them in the door and they're like, fuck, this is actually really good. That's what I want. That's my vision for ICW. And whether people believe in that or not, that's what I want to do. I'm a firm believer of that.
Well, something, I've got a couple of questions here. Thank you for getting the questions coming. A whole bunch of amazing ones from Gareth Kennedy, Alan Anderson, Scott Hood, Darren Hoy, Lindsay Riley. I'm going to get to as many of them as I can. Very quick. We'll go with this first one, actually, which is more of an observation, really, but I think it's a really good one. This is Scott Hood. Jason Reed is the 1997 Bret Hart of ICW. Can do the exact same thing in front of two different folk and get the polar opposite reaction. So he's doing a comparison between Bret Hart wrestling in America as a Canadian heel, but in Canada, he was a huge babyface. What do you think of that, Simon?
To be fair, I was actually kind of thinking that, because when you were saying it's very unusual for someone to get such a divided response, because I know you were saying it was 80-20. It was much, much, much closer than that. And if it was 80-20, that 20% was loud. But so I was actually kind of thinking, where do you think you would go? That it wouldn't be 80-20. It would just be standing ovation. Just welcome Jason Reed out the curtain in the ring.
Clark Hall.
I knew he was going to say
Middle of Ibrox Park, maybe. I don't know. Half-time draw.
I've got to say, mate, if you and Coach don't get a halftime draw out of this, then I fucking don't know what's going on. A whole bunch of other questions. Here's a really good one. This is sent out by Sis5. Just check this out quickly. After the recent, this is more of an AEW question, but we'll get it because you talked about wrestling moving forward. Maybe we could see this at Ibrox or something. Who knows? After the recent stadium stampede in AEW, if you had your own stampede at Ibrox, who would be on your team and why for any time, any promotion? It's a dream question.
Oh, okay. So anytime, we've got to have Big Drew. We've got to represent the boys in blue. I think we'll pretty much cap it at that. To be honest, me and Big Drew, I think we'd be a pretty staunch team.
That's pretty unfair for the other guys. It's like you get first pick at football.
Somewhere right now, I can just feel Gallus twitching, like physically twitching.
Me and Joe had a little back and forward on Twitter today. That took off a little bit, but so there might be something in the pipeline there. Who knows?
All right, well, there we go. Let's get a couple more questions in just quickly because they really are amazing questions. This is one you talked about, Coach coming in the manager and how that came about. What made you decide this is a good move? Because you're coming in and wrestling can be one of the coolest places. You're surrounded by your pals backstage, but sometimes it can be the loneliest place in the world. What made you think, yeah, a manager, that would be great at this ensemble? What made you go for that?
Well, it was actually, funnily enough, it was the other way around. It was actually Coach that handpicked me almost. And you know, it was actually him that sort of led the charge to start us off, believe it or not. And obviously he came to me and he said, "Look, this is what I've pitched. You know, their management are up for it. Are you?" And I was like, "Well, absolutely." As we've touched on before, he's done so much and he's been with so many good guys. Obviously, it was you know, with Mark. Mark won 0G. Now, obviously, WWE UK Tag Champ, Pole Promotions. Their amazing run, and obviously DCT as well, World Champ. So if I turned that down, there was something seriously wrong.
As well, he is the manager of champions. I'm literally saying that just to annoy the wee man. Right. Here's a great one. This is actually sent in by our pal Westy. Hiya Westy, another good one. ICW tag team titles. All right. Let's talk about the world of ICW. Who would be your tag team partner? Can he be Drew? It's got to be someone else.
You know, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. No. I would go for Big Andy Wild.
That's a great show.
Because you know, he's the big man. He obviously trains me at FPWA. Very good friends with Andy. We've been close for a long time, and I think that would be really special. And who better to have in your corner than the dad bod god?
Well, definitely, and we've got to talk a little bit about FPWA. Now, when we were just going into the lockdown, we saw the training videos that you and Andy were doing from the FPWA gym. They were amazing, little training videos with him and his son. But a question we've got to ask this is, anyone stand out now that you're coaching FPWA? You're getting to lend on your experience and what have you. Anyone stand out that you think could join ICW? Anyone on the periphery?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons and tons of talent at FPWA. I mean, one thing obviously that stands out is the work ethic there that Andy's instilled in all the guys that come through the door, which is exactly, you know, what he has within himself. It's the same work ethic, it's the same values. But there's so many people. You know, I'd be surprised in the next sort of year, 18 months, if there's not a few guys coming along from FPW. I know a few of them have done the GPWA shows.
Yeah,
they've had a guest match on there. You know, and when everything gets back to yeah, exactly, and when everything gets back to normal, you know, I'd be very shocked if a few more of them don't make it along the motorway and impress. But as I said, they've got the right attitude. They just, you know, as long as they do everything Andy's telling them to do, they'll be there in no time, man. I have no doubt about that.
All right, well, let's get back into the Jason Reed business. But Darren Hoyt, good question here. Where do you see your career in 5 years from now? So we are, if you like, what will we say? Will we say 18 months into the ICW career, probably a year into what we're doing right now. So 5 years, lay it out for us. Where would Jason Reed want to be?
5 years, you know, and 5 years is a long time. I've not been wrestling for 5 years. Yeah. As of yet, so it is a very long time. I mean, the roadmap, you know, if all goes to plan, we're going to pick up a bit of gold in ICW, most definitely. Take it to Ibrox, of course, as you know. And you know, as I said, I just want ICW to really get to, you know, another level. It's on such an amazing level just now, but I just think, you know, there's so much more stuff that's coming. It's, you know, specifically for me. So yeah, I want to continue to do these good things in ICW that we're doing just now. Branch out, and I want to get a taste of WWE UK. You know, nice. that's what we want to do, man. I want to work for WWE. It's always been a dream of mine, and that's where I hope, you know, at the end of the road that we end up. I wouldn't mind tying up with Big Joe Coffey, a bit of blue and green on the NXT UK brand, so that'd be pretty sweet.
If you don't call yourselves the Old Firm, then there's no fucking point.
No point, I know.
And then it just shut wrestling down. We gave it a chance and we failed. We failed. Right. A couple of questions, a couple of comments. Somebody actually said, Christopher Thompson actually said, ICW version of Road Warriors, Andy being Animal, Jason being Hawk. That could work. That could work, I guess.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Someone else has actually said, as a football reference, I've no idea what it means, has Ryan Kent reached out to you after you stole his celebration?
No, unfortunately not. I've tagged him in every photo I put up of me doing a celebration. Twitter, Instagram, but I've not heard anything back, unfortunately.
Right.
But
all I'm saying is tonight we have the technology. There's enough people watching this. If they all go to Twitter right now and tag him, this is the chance.
Tag Ryan Kent. Get him on this live stream.
Get him on the stream.
All joking aside, right, we haven't actually got to see a lot of crossover between like wrestling and football. I think they've tried. I think Wayne Rooney pushed somebody once. I remember that. And if anyone is old as shit like me, you might remember when Vinnie Jones made an appearance on a British pay-per-view once. Yeah. I was there live at that. And I still remember him coming down and trying to push the boss man out of the way. And Vinnie Jones pushes the boss man and Vinnie Jones flies out. He literally goes, "Fuck you," like that. Just bounced off the boy, bounced off him. And with all this stuff going on between Drew and what's that motherfucker's name? Oh God, Chris Sutton.
Jesus.
Anybody you actually go, you see in football when you go, I could work. That could work. Getting a bit argy-bargy, because you see all these American footballers getting contracts in wrestling and then fucking off. Still annoys me. Rob Gronkowski is irritating and I don't like you. Fuck the Buccaneers. So I'll just say that right now. He's a bought a donkey. He's a bought a donkey. But let me ask you, anybody you think would be good for coming in and maybe doing a bit of business with? Anybody you think?
What, football related or just
football related? Football related. You maybe think we could come in, bring them in, have a bit of a feud with you.
Oh, I don't know about. I mean, yeah, I'd love to get in the ring with Chris Sutton, man. I tell you that right now. So if we can get him in, that'd be ideal. But just him. Just him and no one else. A steel cage. We don't even need a referee. See you later, Sean. See you later, Thomas. Catch you in half an hour. And then and that'll be it. I mean, in terms of like the other side of the coin, I mean, someone that could really, really get everyone's back. Someone like Barry Ferguson or Nacho Novo, just someone that no one likes. In terms of the other side, that'd be brilliant.
We've got to do it old school. You're coming out, you're cutting a promo in the middle of the ring, and here we've got some so-called footballers in tonight. There they are on the front row. Let's do it old school. I don't even really bother about football, but I'd fucking watch that.
I don't know. Last time we tried calling out somebody for the crowd from another sport, Hughes's jaw melted. So it might not be the best formula.
By the way, just on that note, give me Chris Bungard.
Oi! Now we're talking.
He's tweeted a few times, man, talking about knocking me out my blue tracksuit, man. So I think Dallas needs to get him along.
Like you heard of that, and I'll say this now. I say this now. Notice, Simon, he went serious as fuck when he said that. The smile, the charming smile, and the lovely hair. Just gone. I fucking Bungard. Let's make this happen. Just gonna say a quick thanks, Darren Pervs. I think that's Alan Anderson again. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Alan. Darren Pervs gave us a wee donation there on the super chat of £5. We appreciate that. It keeps ICW Lockdown going. And if you've got any questions and you want to hit us up on YouTube on the super chat, it bounces straight through to us. Keep the questions coming. Loads of amazing ones coming in here. Anybody in the wrestling world you would love to go up against? Because you're what you're doing in the ring, and like you say, you're working to improve every time you go in there. I think of other prodigies that are in wrestling just now, and the name MJF keeps coming up. I would love to see you boys do business. Are you keeping up to speed with the AEW?
I do, yeah, I do. And, you know, this is funny. I actually get a lot of tweets from people tagging MGF, which is funny you should mention that. Yeah, so people want us to tag, people want us to go one-on-one. So I don't know, man, but I'd be up for that. He's one good motherfucker. So yeah, it'd be sweet to tie it with him, I reckon.
We've got another quick suggestion for you. Jason Cummings versus Jason Reed, footballer versus wrestler.
I think it's Cum Dog.
I think it's Cum Dog, and I don't know Mr. Cummings, but that's a terrible nickname.
Get just Jason saying. Cummings in, that'd be funny though. Jason Cummings, good guy.
I'm sure he's a great guy, but what's with that nickname?
Have you not seen the clip? Have you not seen the clip of him though at the Hibs?
I only saw the one where he got
when he comes in and wrestles Grado.
I saw that. I thought that was proper funny. I did think that was proper funny, but I was distracted by his nickname. I'm sure Jason's a good guy. I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on his team or nothing. I just, when I first heard that, I went, "What? That's like an insult." Like I was just dead confused, man. Like my and just in case anyone wants to give me shit, my mother-in-law's maiden name is Cummings, so I ain't giving anyone a hard time. But come back or come dog, it's odd. It's odd.
It's not great. It's not great.
Here's another one. Alan Anderson, Jason, are you a fan of Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page?
Oh, definitely, yeah, man. I love his stuff. Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of guys over that way. I've got a proper bit of a fanboy, to be honest, man. I do really like him. Yeah. Again, love to share the ring with him one day. So you never know.
Simon, you had a question there. Sorry, I felt like I cut you off.
No, all I was going to say was, well, looking a bit closer to home, in ICW, who have you got your eyes on? Where were you aiming before the end of the world, basically? Where were you kind of looking there?
Well, you know, DCT. Let's not beat around the bush. You know, DCT went away. He was with Coach before. A little something there. Now Coach is my boy. So, you know, I'd like to tie up with DCT. You know, he's obviously been away. He's come back now. I'd love to show him that a little bit's changed since he flew away and spent 12 months in the Australian sun. And where better to do it than ICW?
Oh my God, you could have a tan off.
We could. He would lose. He would lose, but you know, it's the taking part that counts.
I don't know. Frankly, the level of tan that the two you get is unacceptable at times. But
we had a match. At the start of the year at Discovery Wrestling, and yeah, man, it was just orange, just a glow of orange and just white teeth.
Well, I remember the first time I'd seen you wrestle. I was up in Aberdeen, and I was talking to someone about it, and I hadn't caught your name on the show, and I still remember I was talking about, there was this wrestler, lovely boy, handsome, blonde, teeth, and he went, "Aye, that's Jason Reed." And what do you remember about his? And I was just like, "Oh fuck." That wasn't the best way I could have described him, but it was like, cracking boy, cracking arse. Might as well got the whole shebang. But the reason I say that is because one of your old school fans here, great show as pair. Remember seeing Jason at an independent show and he had a Yank accent.
I don't know if that was me, mate. I think you might be getting me confused with someone else.
I was about to say, I don't ever remember a Yank accent. Cause,
no. Even in the midst of the make wrestling great stuff, again, there was never a Yank accent. So I don't know if you maybe got me confused with someone else, but definitely a Fifer, so you've got that right, but no American accent.
So what?
Sorry,
just the Donald Trump side of things. What did make you go for that initially? Because I know we've kind of moved further on in your career, but when you first came on the scene, you did seem to make an awful lot of noise very, very quickly. And, you know, now you've gone even more controversial. So what was the kind of make wrestling great again persona, if you will?
It wasn't really something it wasn't something I'd planned to do in the beginning. So obviously I'd done a lot of work up in Aberdeen and just all of a sudden, this one show I was doing, just Donald Trump chants started from out of nowhere, and I was like, what? So at first, obviously, I can't remember the venue or who I was wrestling, but I've got some guy in the corner, and I can hear Donald Trump. I'm like, are they shouting Donald Trump? And bear in mind, this is the first chant the first time I've heard that chant.
you're looking about from. You're looking about from. Is he here?
I'm like, where is he? So I kind of ignored that, and then I had a show the very next weekend, and it was loud as fuck. Donald Trump chants. I'm like, fuck. So I go back, and the promoter's like, I'm like, no. So yeah, that's where that came from. And the next show I came out, obviously at that time all spray tan, because I was a bit pale back then. So I quiffed up, and I had like a little sweater tied around my neck. Came out with a "Make Wrestling Great Again" sign, and yeah, just came out and waved at people, and it just took off. And because
you got the Donald Trump chants before the tan.
Yeah, well, kind of. I wasn't as tanned, so there was a little bit. There was maybe a baseline there, right? Maybe a baseline.
I'm thinking your baseline might be different to other people's. Just throwing that out there.
My baseline is pretty much Ross from Friends. That's my baseline. So I ended up getting a sign, came out, waving at people, thanked everyone for coming out to see me, shook everyone's hands, told them to vote for me, blah blah blah, all stuff like that, and it was really working. And like it was getting a reaction, with like kids and stuff, and then obviously the adults as well, because no one likes Donald Trump. But then again, that was flipping both ways, because I was pushing that, but then other venues, depending on the crowds, if they were chanting Donald Trump, then I would maybe go on a hissy fit and say, I don't look like him. And it just takes something like that, and then they jump on it, and it keeps going and going and going. Obviously, stuff like that doesn't work as well with over 18s crowds, obviously. It's more of a family orientated show, if you like, that I think that would maybe work well with. But yeah, I did find some success with that, and obviously I still kind of push that when I'm doing these shows elsewhere, because it is, again, a more family orientated show, if you like.
Sorry, the way there was my screen totally frozen. I couldn't hear a bloody thing. I caught the end about the family show, so I was like, "Can they hear me?" Sorry, right, we got that snotty. I shat myself there for a second because I thought you were gone, and I was like, "What?"
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
You both froze at the exact same time, and it was like, "Shit!" Did you see? If you actually played that back, you'll see me going, "Shit!"
What was going on?
And so did I. I was just like, that was a sudden silence. Well done. Right, we've got to ask you, you've talked about who you'd like to wrestle on ICW, the DCTs, and well and beyond, and that type of thing. As a young man that has come into wrestling, and you're only in the 4 years, you've not even hit your prime yet. This is me putting you over as much as I can. You're not even hit your prime yet. What advice would you give to young wrestlers, young people wanting to come into pro wrestling? I mean, you are originally from, is it from Fife? Is that right?
Yeah.
Originally from Fife.
It's called Dunfermline.
Well, I know it well. And they still got it. Is it the Jam? Is it the Jam Jar? Can't mind.
Yeah.
It's the Jam Jar, isn't it?
Stinking place. Bye.
I did a gig up there once. Fuck me. Oh my god, that bouncer threw me outside like a fucking frisbee.
You usually do.
He said sorry, mate. Woof, before he did it. So good, solid on. What advice would you give someone? Because the whole thing is, I think everyone sometimes think that wrestling is focused just in the city. You're going to be from Glasgow, you're going to be from the cities in order to make that happen. You're living proof that is not the case, that wrestling in the new generation can come from absolutely anywhere in this country. What would be your advice for a young athlete, a young wrestler, a young person wanting to break in?
So, I mean, if you've already found a training school, great, obviously that's half the battle. If you're still looking for one, do your research, join a reputable one. There's so many now all over the country, GPWA, FPWA, a school that obviously that sort of that's got that reputation. Listen as well, listen to your coaches in terms of what they're telling you to do. Work hard work hard in the gym. If you don't go to the gym, start. Work hard in the kitchen, and what I mean by that is make sure that you're researching what you should be eating. Because at the end of the day, we're athletes. We're asking a lot of our bodies every weekend, and we're trained fighters. So we need to look the part as well to a certain extent. So you work hard in the kitchen, work hard in the gym, work harder than everyone else. You're going to be in a training school with 10, 20, 30 people maybe who are all pushing for the same spot. And that's not talking about any other schools in the country. Are all trying to do the same thing. So make sure you work harder than everyone else. Get rid of excuses. Surround yourself with people who want to win, who want you to do well. Don't listen to negativity. Get rid of negativity and just do everything you can. Find your why. Once you find your why, that's half the battle, and you'll get there so much quicker.
Fucking brilliant. That's inspirational advice during this time. Right, I like doing this for a bit of fun. Right at the end, obviously your matches are all in ICW, huge career highlights. But let's say we're trying to get people to discover more pro wrestling as they're going on. So what I want you to do is to give me, if you can, an ICW match that you think everyone should go and watch on ICW On Demand, and another two of your favorites, just favorites that everyone should go and watch. So what's your ICW favorite match, Jason?
Okay, so ICW favorite match. Okay, this is a recent favorite.
Okay.
Jackie Polo and Kushida.
Yes.
I think that was last year, and I'll tell you why. Because Jackie Polo for me is on another level, and there's so many reasons that. But he doesn't change his style for anyone. So many people in that position would have Kushida and try to match what he's doing, but he doesn't, because he doesn't need to, because that's his style, and I think that is absolutely amazing.
That's what wrestling used. That's what wrestling used to be. Terry Funk, when he go wrestle in Japan, it was Terry Funk's match. See, that's why I'm a big Stan Hansen guy. I'll not bore anybody. They'll go, "Who the fuck is Stan Hansen?"
No, man, I'm the same. I say it to coach all the time. And obviously, you'll know you watch it obviously every weekend or every month or whatever. There's no flips from me. There's no fancy spots. I punch, I kick people, and that's it, man. Because that's what Jason Reed needs to do to win. Because Jason Reed can win by doing those things. He doesn't need to do anything else. Do
you hate the flips? Do you hate the flips?
No. No. I love the flips. I love every part of wrestling. Wrestling is beautiful.
Yes.
Every part of wrestling is unique in its own way. Partly because I can't do the flips, but it's neither here nor there.
Well, there we go. That's a match. You've got to check that out. Jackie Polo versus Kushida. Simon.
No, I was just I think that's a couple of great points you've made there, but the whole style's not changing, and that's what you do every match. To me, that's what used to make wrestling interesting. It was seeing the clash in styles. It wasn't just how we're going to have a big flippy high flying or how we're going to have a great death match. It's like, no, what would make sense for these two men to do? Like, you would never see someone going into a UFC fight going, he's a submission wrestler, so I'm going to throw in a lot of submissions. Like, no, you would do the exact opposite. He's a submission guy, so I am not going on the ground. I'm standing like I'm totally with you in that. Keep doing that.
It used to be the difference. You get like Dick Murdoch wrestling Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You literally just look at all these. It's what nobody's the same. So that's the point. Anyway, we're all in agreement, despite the fact we sound like we're having an argument.
It's a strange tone we've adopted.
Well, fucking that, you're both quite right.
Get in there. You get me so pumped, man. You just start shouting. I'm like, oh my, come on.
It's fucking, what you did? Whose wins Dudley? Right. Let me ask you this question though. So that's an ICW match. We love talking about the world of wrestling because that's the whole thing, that there's a rainbow of pro wrestling out there, talents, matches, all shapes, sizes, promotions from all over the world. You can check out a whole bunch of those in ICW On Demand right now. Make sure to check it out. We've got a brand new best of Prince Devitt right here, whatever happened to him. That's going to be an ICW On Demand this weekend. But Jason, before we finish up here, and it is your last chance if you're watching whatever on YouTube or Facebook, if you want to get a last couple of questions in, hit us up in the comments, get it done right now. You do it super chat on YouTube. Jason, give us another 2 favorite matches that you think people should go and check out. Could be anywhere, anytime.
Oh man, you know, a couple of my favourite matches are in King of the Ring 1992. I mean that, and it's just see those matches back then, just proper do it for me. But I've got so many favourites, I don't even know if I can give you 2. We'll go King of the Ring. Let me give you an event. So King of the Ring 92. Watch all of those matches, and then Stone Cold versus The Rock. WrestleMania 17? Is it 17?
17.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. What's that?
15, 17, 19.
Yes.
That was it. That was it. I prefer the one at 19.
Ah man, but this is wrestling. People prefer other things, you know, and that's why it's so good.
See, now we're agreeing again. Not shouting. It's weird.
I agree. All right, last question, guys. Let's get this one in for you. This is in by Shoddy Boy. Who's offered to be your kit man? Just so you know, favorite town to wrestle in. Now, this question has came up a couple of times, and I find that odd. So I'm suspicious.
Is it from the same person?
I think it might be. So.
I think this could be on the back page of the Daily Record tomorrow morning. That's what I think.
All right. Okay. What's your favourite town to wrestle in?
Oh, he's being careful.
No.
Oh, he's being careful. So
Glasgow.
Turning your back in your own city. That's bold.
I'm currently residing in Glasgow. This is where I am right now. So
well, fair enough.
This is where I've been for lockdown. I'm a Glasgow boy now. But yeah, man, the crowds in Glasgow are just unbelievable. See, when you just get a little bit of that crowd, and they got you know, when your music, you're standing behind the curtain, your music's going, and you're getting countdown, and you just go out, and you're like, oh man, it's just amazing. Like, it's just. You can't describe it unless you've actually done it. It's just a feeling that just doesn't compare to anything else in the world. You could be going through anything in life, something, anything could have happened that day. But see, as soon as you go down that stage, man, it's just a different world, isn't it? It's amazing, and the Glasgow crowd is just next level, man.
Well, listen, thanks very much for joining us, Jason. It's been an absolute. We could have done this again. We will do this again. How can people find you on social media? We know we've got your Twitter handle there, Jason Reed Egg. So, where can people find out what's going on, and where can people buy some of that staunch merch of yours?
Staunchmerch.bigcartel.com. It's all going, man. It's selling really well. So we're kind of.
The URL. That's great.
You don't need to tell me. A couple of years ago, I did a parody of the Billet Club T-shirt that said Billy Club. Those T-shirts couldn't go quick enough. They couldn't go quick enough.
Do you have any left?
Fuck no. Basically, the guy that was making them for me went, "What happened last night?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And it's when all the fucking T-shirts. I'm like, "They're gone. They're all gone." A guy phoned up and said, "Do you have a small?" I went, "No, I've got an extra large." I'll take it. Small, extra large. That's fucking demand right there. I should have kept that going. But I would have got a speaking desist. But we can get the staunch merch. You're on Instagram. I know you're on Facebook as well. Jason,
same handle, yeah. Same handle, yeah.
And
we didn't even talk about your podcast.
Oh God, the podcast. Let's talk about
podcast.
Let's talk about the podcast.
Right. So I had this amazing idea. Right. I was like, I'm going to do a carpool interview, but with just different, so like members of the roster, management, referees, producers, done one, and then we had lockdown. So I couldn't fucking drive anywhere. I couldn't pick anyone up. So I've started doing it a similar layout to what we're doing now. Just putting different episodes up every week, guys. So we had Alexander Dean last week, and then we had Rudo the week before, Andy Wild before that. And got a couple cool ones. lined up as well. And again, it's just the same concept. It goes up on YouTube every weekend. So, if you want to catch up with some of the guys whilst the shows are down and we're quiet, check it out.
You can certainly do that, but I also say watch ICW Lockdown on a Thursday night that does pretty much the exact same thing. Boy's such a heel, man. Boy's such a heel.
Oh, man.
Basically, he's over there doing ICW cervical. It's me nuts. Right, okay.
But listen, it's a different demand because you're live. It's a different demand. So it's interactive, isn't it? People can ask questions, but with mine, it's just boring shite, isn't it?
You are like Donald Trump, mate. Did you see how he just talked me around there? Did you see how he just talked me around? That is a smooth operator.
Done. Just off.
Make wrestling great again. This boy can do it. I can assure you that. Couple of questions just quickly, though. A couple of comments, actually. Wait till I find this one, because this one actually threw me for a loop. I'm going to... Oh, there it is. Andrew Miller asked this question. Boop. Why did you never keep your earlier name, The Gripper?
This is... kayfabe's going to be totally destroyed if I tell the real story here, man. So... basically, so when I was training to be a wrestler, I don't know why I said that. When I was training to be a wrestler, I don't know. This just went really weird again, and it was all my fault this time.
There's that Yank accent people were talking about.
It's a great idea.
So somewhere Vince is watching that and he's going, yes. Yes, as soon as quarantine's over, that boy is on. Sorry. So I was basically on a job and in this training group, and the training class decided to chip in and give me a wrestling name because I needed a wrestling name, and they came up with that. I was actually hoping that I was never, ever, ever, ever going to hear or see the name again. But here we are on a live stream with ICW. Have probably about 100,000 followers altogether across all social media channels, and there it was plastered all over. So brilliant. Right. Well, I get a film we're going to be hearing from the Gripper again. Mate, it's been an absolute blast. Give our very best to Coach Tripp when you see him. I know you will. I know he'll be busy making deals right now, and I know he's busy working down at Staunch Enterprises, I should say.
That's right.
I'll make sure to give you your very best. Right, I'm gonna stick you back in the locker room, and I'll talk to you in just 1 second. Me and Simon will wrap this back.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Right, that was absolutely awesome. Simon, did you enjoy that?
I thoroughly enjoyed that. And
now the raffle. No.
Yes! It's been so long since there's been a raffle, Billy.
Loads of fun. We've got a great guest on next week, Simon.
Oh.
Would you like to do the honours and let folk know who our guest is next week?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, next week, coming to you live on Lockdown, the politicking time bomb, the catch provocateur, Alexander Dean, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, that is going to be an absolute belter. One of the most outspoken, polarizing pro wrestlers in the world today. We're going to have him live in the show. Who knows what will happen when the politicking time bomb is going to be in the house. Right, very quickly, we're going to make a couple of changes to ICW Lockdown from next week. First couple of minutes, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be saying hello to everyone. Oh, yes, because what we're going to do is basically as people join the stream, we're going to make sure to say hi to them as much as we can. So many of you tonight, we didn't get a chance. But we want to say hi to people that were with us all night. Jay Cree, Alan Anderson, Callum Hunter, Shawnee Boy, Chris Light. There's so many of you. So make sure to kick things off because a couple of people go, hello would be nice. I'd love to say hello, but you're running through at such a rate. I kind of get you. We'll make sure that make that happen. Right, Simon, what have you got going on, first of all, at OneFall?
A couple of things, couple of ideas. Truth be told, currently buying a couple of wee bits of equipment for seeing if I can get a few wee things recorded for the old Patreon over there. But of course, you can also buy some OneFall merchandise over at Pins and Knuckles. And we'll just keep a wee eye on Twitter channel soon because should be fun. What about you,
All
Billy?
right.
What's happening?
Loads of cool things coming up with me. I'm actually doing to support my local arts centre tomorrow night over on my Facebook page. I'm not doing Billy Kirkwood Friday Night Lockdown. I'm actually doing a quiz. They've asked us to put together a family-friendly quiz. Tell your pals. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure to check it out. But I've got loads of new things coming, including the return of Watch Bad Movies with great comedians coming to YouTube and Patreon. And I've also got Heads Up. It's fucking Sunday. I'm not telling you what it's about, but you're going to make sure to check it out. Just very quickly, Simon, I'm going to finish off with this one. Anti-Villain Firestorm, guy in the beard is cute. I think he means me.
How did he find his way to this channel?
Who knows? Who knows?
If he doesn't know who you are, how did he find his way? Not only here, but at the end of the show.
That's a bit disturbing.
Why has he been watching?
I've got the fear, Simon. Let's get out. Let's get out of here. We are going to be back next Thursday at 9 o'clock. Tell your friends and bring them with you. Bye.